Hey. Hey, Max.
Good day, mates. Oh, what the pair you want?
The guys were kind of upset that I didn't get to tag along.
The guys?
Seriously, mate. I'm just
Can't
kind of
believe you
just
guys
hanging.
forgot about at this point.
Battle. I don't even want to be here. I don't have feelings, because feelings are for women, but if I did, they would be hurt. So what do you say? Can we play in the wasteland one more time?
All right, fine. But none of those weapons are gonna do. Gotta get something with some muck on it.
Welcome back to the wasteland, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerd and nerdettes. Now, if you've been following this series, I've been doing a lot of testing against tire armor. Started with the troll, and when I did that, I tested it against the warbow, the warhammer, the warpick, grand, the axe, the spear, the pilum, and it did exceptionally well, which gave me another idea for another video, which was kind of wasteland weapons, so to speak, where I used the gunstock club, which worked phenomenally, but the bat and other things did not work as well. So in this video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna explore some post-apocalyptic weapons here that are famous in movies and video games and see how they perform against the armor.
Now start, that bow's far too nice.
I don't know, I don't think it looks too nice.
And those arrows, let me see that arrow.
Yeah, sure, here you go, man.
Yeah, it's quite nice. Nice. Get another one.
Greetings and welcome to Honest Abe's shop. Oh, okay. Feels a little weird that you preface it by saying honest. I assure you, I don't know what you mean. It should be assumed that your shop is honest. Welcome to Honest Abe's shop, the most honest shop. You know what? Forget it. Forget it. This is going nowhere. I need a different bow, apparently. Well, you are in luck because I just came across this bow here in the most honest way possible. Again, saying that makes me assume the exact opposite. 120-pound fiberglass bow made from the finest scraps in the wasteland. Ooh, I feel dirty even holding this. What even is this abomination? What about arrows? Well, for that, I have these handmade arrows here. The tips are made from rebar melted down into a point. The traveler who had them, unfortunately, did not need them anymore. I hate everything about this. All right, so what are we working with in actuality for the Ranger here? Well, I have a 120-pound bow I got off of eBay from China. It's like an epoxy fiberglass resin type bow. I have these arrows here, which are just very quickly made by me. The tip here is actually melted down, smelted, and shaped rebar. And so I think if anything's apocalypse worthy, that's gonna be it there. I'm gonna set up the tire armor in front. I'm gonna have the ribs behind it for the duration of this test to see how these work. When I did this test previously with the 130-pound bow from about 25 yards and the flat bow, they were able to go into it well. I wanna see with this one here, I'm gonna be closer because this is probably not gonna be very accurate with the arrows not being very balanced and weighted as this one is here. But we'll check it out and see from probably about like 15 yards. And then for good measure, of course, we'll try one at the helmet. Then we'll sneak one around the armor. What we got here is the first shot bounced off, so that did not do well. The second two, when I hit it, we're able to punch into it right here and here. Not deep enough for a fatality. It punched in, but it didn't touch the ribs underneath. The other one where I bounced the helmet off was right in here, a little mark, and then the last one, when the helmet pushed up, was able to sneak it in right there. So that would have been the fatality. So accuracy is going to be what's going to keep you alive for sure out here in the wasteland. But just for the fun of it, let's do one at the ribs. So naturally, without the armor, that was enough to do the job. I actually went in between the ribs, it looks like, in each shot. So, it wasn't hitting the bone, but, obviously you got some of the sinew and fiber there as well. However, with these makeshift tips that I had on here and the 120-pound epoxy bow, I was not able to get in deep enough with those arrows to cause a fatal hit. With the war bow, the 130-pound war bow, that was enough to punch through all that tire, as you guys probably saw previously. But for that one, that was definitely survivable with my wasteland bow and arrows. Impressive.
And you seem to recall you're the heavy. Why don't you head over to the shop? That mace, it's not gonna cut it. A shop, you say? Well, does this shop have loot, perchance? And does it have maybe a hat like that? Ah, sorry, mate. This is mine. I'm gonna loot that hat.
Greetings and welcome to Honest Abe's shop. Honest Abe, is it? I like that. With a name like that, I trust you immediately. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page. All right, so Max said this won't do. I need something spiky and powerful. I have just the thing for you, sir. Spiky and large, just as you requested. Brought about from the most honest ways only. Okay, don't worry. No need to be modest. One looter to another here. Game recognizes game. Kind of a terrible person, aren't you? Look, I didn't come here for a lecture. Just give me a weapon. Very good, sir. Oh my. This will do nicely. All right, folks. Well, unlike the whiny ranger who seemed a bit unpleased with the results he had, I think I'm nothing short of excited to bring to you whatever carnage this may bring. What we have here is simply a standard Louisville slugger, but I have 8-inch nails that I hammered through and sharpened the tips down to a tapered point. I'm gonna start with the tire armor here, see how it goes, and then make a judgment next. Well, that was the best result so far. These are 8 inches, like I said, so obviously if there's that much hanging out, then there's that much through the armor and into the ribs. I'm gonna do another strike at it to try and replicate that, then I'll pull it off and see what the damage is. Okay. Just as impressive as the first one. So that was definitively as impressive as the first one. The problem is these galvanized nails are starting to bend a little bit, but you can see right here where the strike was through. So both of those missed ribs, it looks like, here and here, but each of them was able to go through easily into that rib cage without the tire armor causing any problems at all. Now, just for fun, take a smack at the ribs. So that one there was a dead center strike to the ribs. I could hear the rib crack. You can actually see where it punched through and through right into there. So that was the center of that rib, that dense cow bone, and it just made extremely short work of it. I'm gonna hammer this back down, but honestly, this might be one of my new favorite weapons. Oh, this is really cool. You know, of course, I'm not satisfied just yet when there's a perfectly good ballistic Kevlar helmet there. I have 3 of these are already bent up a little bit, so I'm gonna have to get those fixed, but I have one that's completely in a straight line. I'm gonna try that Kevlar helmet. All right, so unfortunately it did meet its match there. You can see the actual puncture mark was right here. So it punched into the helm a bit, but unlike the buttstock club, it was not able to push in all the way through into the other side. I can feel where it was starting to come out in the back here. So I can feel an indent from that impact, but not enough to puncture through the helmet into the person behind it. So unfortunately, this does meet its match with this helmet here. Now I just gotta fix these, but still solid survival apocalyptic tool against tire iron.
Take it you're the Axeman. The name is Trollo, hero of the North, bane of the Saxons. I don't really care. Head over the shop, get some little bit nastier. I want that weapon. Sorry, this one stays with me. I don't like you.
Greetings and welcome to...
Shut up, you womanly merchant.
Okay.
Small talk is for women. I need an axe.
Well, sadly, I think a fireman's axe would have done wonderfully. Unfortunately, I am fresh out of those. However, I do have this. An axe sure to make your enemies tremble.
What? What even is this abomination?
Sorry, old boy, this is the best I can do. However, I can offer you this as well. It's a spiky stick.
Oh, this is even worse than the other one. Well, lucky for you, it's not the weapon that does the killing, but the man. These weapons are ridiculous, and I hate everything about it. But I'm still gonna do the best. I'm going to start by seeing if I can slash into the chest. I don't think so. Did next to nothing. Now, the pokey stick. Best I could do was right here. I need some mass. I think if I had like a 5-pound bumper weight on it, it'd be enough to get through, but as is, it's not going to make it. However, what I do want to see is how a puny arm, not me, my arm's not puny, but how a puny arm does against this. This will be our stand-in for an unprotected arm, this top bone here. It's probably about thicker than the bicep bone. That's what it's called, yes. The bicep bone. Thicker than that. We'll see.
Oh man. Oh my gosh.
Whew. That was actually much more impressive than I thought. You can see that strike here. Broke that thick bone right there. The saw blades did a great job pushing through, cracking that bone. So there's no protection, no muscle, but that would be enough to break a bone for sure, like the forearm or something. The arm, if it's my arm, it's fine. I can take it, but normal man, break it. Look mate, I think everyone's thinking it. I'm just gonna say it. Your accent is abysmally terrible. Yeah, you know, I was gonna retire it, but everyone thought it was so charmingly bad. They wanted to keep it around, I think just to make fun of me. So here we are. Well, guess I can relate on that front. Anyway, it's a good weapon, but I think you need to wasteland it up a bit.
Greetings and welcome to Honest Abe's shop.
Oh boy, another character with a bad accent. I think old Dash may be losing his mind a bit.
Greetings and welcome to...
Oh yeah, I got it. You're a crook and a swindler. I really don't care. I just need a spear.
Well, you are in luck because I have a pointy stick. This here is a stick. Not only is it a stick, but it has a point on it. So it might work as a spear. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, sweet Mary, Mother and Joseph. What even is this thing?
You know, I don't really know, but I think it'll probably work very well against tire armor.
Well, if you say so, Honest Abe. Looks a bit like a pelum, but we'll see how it works. Hopefully I don't die. Looks like everyone's been having quite a bit of fun. So this one here, similar to the weapon SirGains was using, where I have an 8-inch galvanized nail, tapered it down to a sharp point on top. I hollowed out this old ash shaft, stuck it in there, so I got about probably 10 inches. About 6 inches right here. And I'm gonna check and see how this does. This is an old one, so I gotta be sure not to get splinters, but I'm gonna use it like a pelum, I would say. I think the weight is a little light. Don't know if it has enough mass to get through, but we'll see. So that's 2 good throws. Neither of them will get through, so I'm gonna see if I can thrust it through. Usually you have less power with a thrust than a throw, but excuse me, we'll try it anyways. So watching it back, the throw was actually pretty close to getting through. I think if I took this and treated it like a weighted pelum like the Romans did, where they had the weight in the front to have more mass, it would have made it through. On this, if I added the weight to it, I think maybe 3 pounds or so, just to kind of balance out, add a little heft, that would get through. But at the state it's at now, with the way that I'm throwing my power level, it's not gonna make it through. Hey, so did you forget about someone maybe? Oh right, yeah, I forgot about you, sorry. No, you're not the only one. So do I need to go to like the shop or something like that? You just use a rope and a rock, right? No? Yeah, you're fine, mate. That'll do good. No, I could just head over there. Nah, no need to head to the shop. Just go have fun. I feel like I should be insulted by this. Would a sling work? Yes, but only if you hit vulnerable spots. So if I'm aiming for the leg or for other parts around the tire armor, that's gonna work. But unfortunately, you're really gonna have to pick those shots well, because against the rubber, the way that it absorbs the impact, it's really gonna diffuse it even better than wood would. Even better than wood would. So you've seen what this can do against the ribs, obviously, and against ballistic dummies. So it has a lot of power in it, but unfortunately, if someone's rocking tire armor, you're gonna have to hit those weak spots to cause any real sort of damage.
Greetings and welcome.
Skip. It appears, Skip. Look, you can't just skip. Fine, okay, I skip. Sword thing. That's fine. Hello folks, it's me again. I knew you were expecting Grumpalt for this one, as he's the sword expert, but as he was leaving the shop, he thrust this into my hand and said, I don't want to get in my costume, I have important stuff to do.
apparently putting that on is a bit of a pain, getting the sawyer on the back and everything, a bit cumbersome. So he asked me if I could do this in the nicest way possible, as he said some expletives and walked away. Charming fellow, truly salt of the earth. So, as a resident short sword expert, I'm gonna be trying this. I don't think we're gonna do much against the tire, but it might be fun to try it out against the bone. Alright then, so against the bone we have a few slashes here. This one right here, up on top, about maybe a 1/4 inch in. This one here as well. This was the best one here. I actually just stepped through on this one. It's about a 1/2 inch through. Cracked the bone right there. So obviously, you know, it's a sharp weapon. It's going to do some damage to it, but it surprised me that it did worse than the saw blade. I did not see that coming, because I felt like that wouldn't do it, but it must have been the way that it grabbed and pulled, just splintered that thing. So that was actually a better slashing weapon than this one. Wouldn't have thought it, but there you go. Well, everybody, looks like I'm doing the outro. Thank you so much. If you made it to the end of this video, thanks for watching. I feel like this is gonna be pretty long, and I honestly think it's very possible I might have just simply lost my mind, guys. I'm going down crazy rabbit holes with editing and everything. I'm already kind of doing a few parts of it already. So if you stick around and enjoy it, I hope you do. I'm having a lot of fun putting it together. I feel like I'm literally living out a video game, and so much fun to do and share. So even if it doesn't get wide appeal, I appreciate you guys watching. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, instead of clicking on another one, even another one of my videos, go turn off the computer, switch off the phone, have an adventure, learn a skill, and I'll see you next time. But these are taking longer because I'm spending an inordinate amount of time putting them together with all the characters. So it used to be like maybe twice a week. Now it's probably like once every week and a half. So enjoy.